Hi, my name is Mark Sorsby, and today I'm checking out Toneforge Misha Mansoor on Sturgis terms. Okay, we're going to go through this track. We're going to go through it section by section, taking a look at Toneforge Misha Mansoor by JST. The guitars in this track were recorded in my Ibanez RG7, which has a set of Seymour Duncan Naswell Sentium pickup snares. So the song kicks off with these strummed chords, which sound like this. So we're on the lead channel, but we've dialed the gain back slightly. We have a top end boost and a boost to the harmonics. The precision drive is engaged. We're using the JST matched cab, a touch of reverb from the built-in reverb pedal, and the following EQ moves on the built-in parametric EQ. We have this lo-fi rhythm guitar, which is playing a simplified version of the main guitar riff. So as you can see, we're on the lead channel, but this time we've significantly dialed back the gain. The gate is working particularly hard. The precision drive is engaged. We're using the JST matched cab again, and these are the following EQ moves. We have a synth and a pad sound. After all of that is where the main part of the song is introduced, along with the main rhythm guitar tone. Let's take a listen. So we're on the lead channel, and this time we've increased the gain significantly. Again, we have a top end boost, another boost to the harmonic section. The gate has been dialed back, but it's still engaged. The precision drive is on. Again, we're using the JST matched cab. I'm pretty sure this is the cab I used for every single guitar tone in this mix. These are the EQ moves with parametric EQ. At the same point, this tremolo picking line is introduced, which different iterations of crop up throughout the entire song. This comes from the exact same tone as the rhythm guitars for the sake of cohesion. However, we have a fully wet plate reverb and an EQ filtering out all of the low end. The main drum sound, the bass, and then we have various elements of programming and percussion entering at this point too. So we have a pad part, which doubles the tremolo picking line. And a development on the synth sound heard at the beginning. Also, just for added impact, we have the explosion sounds and some percussion loops going on in the background. Let's hear that in its entirety. with a lot of instrumental music, you could consider the structure somewhat ambiguous. I have been referring to this section as the verse. However, in reality, it's more of just another riff and then a reprise of the main riff, albeit with a different drum feel. So let's take a listen to the various elements. We don't have any more guitars introduced at this point, so let's take a listen to the drums. The bass, which is playing a simplified line compared to what the guitars are playing, it's just hitting the accents, it's not hitting any of the higher strings or any of the harmonics. Okay, the rhythm guitars at this point are playing this. We have a development of the pads heard in the beginning. Also, we have these synth sounds, which are samples from a free Native Instruments library. Pretty odd sounding, they're a little dumb in isolation, but I'm really just using them to accent the high parts of the guitar riff and the harmonics. Again, we just have some explosion sounds and some percussion loops. In the second half of this, we reprise the main riff. Everything is exactly the same apart from the drums. So if we add in the guitars and the bass, let's hear the whole section together. At this point in the song, we come to what I like to think of as the chorus. We introduce a bunch of different instrumentation. We also introduce a shift in the tonality of the song. For the first half, we've been playing around with a blend of Phrygian dominant and the Byzantine scale. But at this point, I wanted to brighten things up a little bit, so we've shifted it from G-sharp Phrygian dominant, Byzantine to G-sharp Aeolian. Apart from the latter half, where it shifts to G-sharp harmonic minor, just to make the transition back to Phrygian dominant a little smoother. In terms of the different instrumentation we've added, the amount of guitars being played in this section increases a fair bit. So we go from having one rhythm guitar part that's being double tracked to having two on either side. We also bring back the drummed split coil chords from the intro. In the second half of the chorus, we introduce this lead line. So let's take a listen to some of the instruments in this part. So here are the drums. The bass is just providing the root notes. And then here are the main guitar lines. And to support that, we have an additional rhythm guitar, which is doubling an octave higher what the bass is playing, just to bridge the gap between the two instruments a little bit. We have the reintroduction of these highly strummed chords that just add a little bit of momentum. All of these are playing through the same tones in Toneforge as they have been early on in the song. However, we do have an introduction of a new sound with the guitar lead. Let's open up Toneforge. So obviously we're on the lead channel. It's quite high gain. We've got another top end boost, a boost to the harmonics. Precision drive is engaged. Again, we're using the JST matched cab. So in terms of the additional programming, the post-production, we have changed it up quite drastically. It goes from sort of synthesized, weird sounding pads and synths to orchestral sounds. So we have a full string section, some very soft pianos. And the piano is playing this. is everything put together. Coming out of the chorus, we switch into something of a two-part breakdown, starting off with this very intricate, notey riff, and then going into a more traditional breakdown. This is what the drums are sounding like. A lot of these additional guitar layers have dropped out, so I'm going to add in the guitars and the bass to that drum part. Continuing with the orchestral theme, we have a string and a brass section. It might seem a little out of place in a song like this, but it's something of an experiment. It's quite low in the mix, but it's more there to fill out the sound. And then again, we just have more of these impacts. The second half of this section is where we go into the more traditional breakdown. The drums go to something like this. The bass. The guitar here, we introduce some pick scrapes. We continue with that orchestral idea, albeit a little more subtle. In the second half, we reintroduce that tremolo picking, same tone as before, and at the same time, we have some tremolo violins doubling what the guitar is playing. Right, let's hear that all together. So what we come to now is what I like to think of as the whole sort of guitar solo section. We have the build-up, which reprises a lot of the ideas and sounds developed in the very beginning of the track. We have the solo riff, which is introduced before the subsequent guitar solo comes in. And we also introduce a new guitar tone within Toneforge. We have the exact same part as comes in the intro. In a similar manner, we have the return of the lo-fi guitar. It's just playing exactly what it plays when the solo comes in. In the background, we just have some pads and a riser synth that is mimicking what the lo-fi guitar is playing. So we have some layered pads and some Foley sounds just to add a bit of atmosphere. So when we come in, we continue with the rhythm guitar part that was established just then. So we'll isolate those parts, the drums. Bass. The rhythm guitars. We We continue with those strummed chords until the solo comes in. We also introduce another tremolo picking line, which, like in the breakdown, is mirrored by tremolo violins. We have various layered pad sounds. Playing the same chord voicings as the strumming. To fill out the sound, we have another synth mimicking the rhythm guitars. So the guitar solo and its harmonies sound like this. On the harmony track, we have the exact same guitar tone, just with a doubler effect on to make the harmony line stereo, meaning it stays out of the way of the main guitar solo. It sounds a little strange in isolation, but it makes it sit much better in the mix. It has that chorus sound to it, but when you put the two together, you get something like this. Let's hear the whole section together. The final section that we're going to look at, as the subsequent sections are just reprises of things we've heard before, is this clean interlude. Now, we introduced a couple of new guitar sounds here, first being this strummed sort of chorused clean part, which sounds like this. Let's open up Toneforge and see what's going on there. So obviously we're on the clean channel, low gain, a very clean. The precision drive is not engaged. Actually, this is the first instance where we've used a different cab. So we're using the Zilla 2x12 with a 57. In terms of the effects, we have a quarter note delay. The chorus is engaged, as is the reverb, albeit on a lower mix. The parametric EQ is disengaged, but the compressor is engaged. Let's take a look at the other guitar that is introduced in this section. It sounds like this. So let's open it up. So we're on the clean section again. This is more a pushed clean. We do have the precision drive engaged this time, and we are this time using the JST matched cab once again. The harmonics boost, a top end boost. This compressor is engaged, as is the inbuilt compressor. The parametric EQ is applying these parameters. In terms of effects, we actually have a dotted eighth delay when we open up the delay pedal itself. The chorus is disengaged, but the reverb is on, and it has a higher mix than the other clean part. So if we combine the two, we get this. In terms of the other instrumentation in this section, we have a very different sound in the drums. So we go to a reverberant, more lo-fi, distorted processed drum track. It remains playing that kind of thing until it lifts off for the beginning of the final chorus. Going on in the background, we just have very soft pianos. Which have a pad sound going on in the background. And at this point, the piano is playing the lead guitar melody from the chorus. We also have these subs that are mixed quite low into the background. Yeah, for that section, that is everything that's going on. So let's hear that in its entirety. So, if you've made it this far, I just want to take a moment to say thank you for watching. Hopefully now you have an idea of the various tonal possibilities available within this plugin. Thank you.